Impact of technology on human relationships. The rise of technology has had an impact on the way we communicate with each other. In some ways, it has made things easier and more convenient, for example, being able to reach out to someone by email, but in other ways, it has made things more difficult. With the rise of instant gratification and constant distractions such as notifications, it has become harder for people to be patient or take the time to reflect on what they are doing. Technology has greatly created distractions among people in workplace meetings, business partnerships, and family relations. These negative influences of technology are because people are trying to replace conversations and connections with their cell phones. Human relationships have grown due to communication technology, but people should be regulated from their cell phones for great connections and conversations to be achieved. It is no secret that cell phones can be a disruption in meetings at the workplace. But the real problem is not the cell phone itself, it is what we are doing with it. We are all guilty of checking our phones when we should be paying attention to the meeting at hand, and that can often lead to missed connections and misunderstandings. The thing is that most of us are only really interested in what is going on in the meeting for a few minutes at a time. We might be tuned in while someone is presenting, but as soon as they finish, we start browsing through our emails or checking Facebook. Our colleagues want to go to that board meeting but pay attention only to what interests them. And that is where the trouble starts, because when we are not paying attention, we cannot effectively communicate with others. Cell phones can sometimes lead to a breakdown in communication between business partners. It seems like every day, I am seeing more examples of people who are trying to have a conversation with someone, only to have their partner get distracted by their phone. It is not just that people are checking their phones too often, it is additionally the fact that they are using their phones to communicate in ways that can be extremely disruptive. A businessman laments that he no longer has colleagues at work. For example, I was talking to someone the other day who said that they had a meeting with a business partner, and the partner kept sending emails and text messages during the meeting. Needless to say, it made it very difficult for them to have a constructive conversation. No matter how strong our relationships are, we all need deep connections with others. We need to be able to talk to people and share our thoughts and feelings with them. These days, it is easy to rely on technology to stay in touch with our loved ones. But while email, Twitter, and Facebook are all crucial communication tools, they can never truly replace conversation. Email, Twitter, Facebook, all of these have their place in politics, commerce, romance, and friendship. But no matter how valuable, they do not substitute for conversation. Conversation is the backbone of relationships. It is how we get to know each other, how we express our thoughts and feelings, and how we connect on a deeper level. Without conversation, our relationships would be much more shallow and less meaningful. There are several reasons why more relationships fail these days. One reason is that we expect more from technology and less from one another. We are always looking for the next best thing, and we are often disappointed when our partners do not measure up. At the same time, we have become more disconnected from each other, spending more time on our phones and laptops instead of connecting with the people around us. This can make it difficult to build a strong relationship. We expect more from technology and less from one another and seem increasingly drawn to technology. Some are even having a problem with connecting with themselves since whenever they are alone, they look for their cell phones to reach others to feel connected or keep them company. There is no denying that smartphones, email, and the internet have drastically changed our lives for the better. They have made us more connected and productive, but there is a downside to all this technology. It can be overwhelming, addictive, and distracting. That is why many people are choosing to disconnect from technology for periods. They are finding that life can still be amazing without all our gadgets. Staying away from technology is an incredible relief, even if it is just for a little while. It allows us to focus on what is important, our relationships, our surroundings, and ourselves. An acquaintance of mine cooled down his connectedness by getting rid of his smartphone and returning to a basic cell phone, thus removing the internet from his mobile. It was an incredible relief. In Growing Up Tethered, Turkle states that mature individuals should be comfortable even without their phones. They connect to the people around them. Other than the internet, people can still be entertained or connected through radios, which existed before the greater technology of the internet. There are several ways that people can become addicted to technology. For some, it is the allure of being constantly connected and having access to limitless information. For others, it might be the rush that comes with checking social media or email notifications. For many, it is convenient to be able to talk and shop while on the phone. Whatever the reason, addiction to technology is real and can have serious consequences. There are a few different ways that cell phone users can reduce the amount of time they spend online. One is to do activities that do not require dialing the phone, such as reading or listening to music. Another is to use other people as search engines, rather than relying on Google or another search engine every time they need information. Cell phone users can choose to limit their time on social media and other websites that tend to suck up a lot of time and derail social relationships. In conclusion, there is no doubt that technology has revolutionized the way we live and interact with each other. However, there is a growing concern that the overuse of technology is hurting human interactions. Technology should be regulated in human relationships because it ruins social connections as well as conversations. Conversations are a key part of human relationships, and technology can disrupt that. It can likewise lead to people feeling isolated and alone, which is not good for mental health. To save the human relationship from technology, people should be encouraged not to embrace performing a single task at a time, and similarly use people to get information instead of the internet.